Okay, so we're gonna get started on the electrical portion of the project here. So I've taken a look at these lights. The old lights are wired, I think, pretty simply. Whites are ground, same as these, whites are ground. This red here is equivalent to this brown here for the reverse light. And then the two blacks here are equal to the blacks here, which will be the brake light. And then I think green is blue. So green on here should be turn signal, which equals blue on here for this turn signal. I think that's the way it goes. The only other way it could go is the blues and the brown, or the blues and the black, are reversed. I'll know that when I hook it up and I test it once, but I'm going to go with my thought. Red is the backup, white is the ground, blue is equal to blue, which is turn. Well, it's really blue is green is turn, and black is the brake. Like I put a mark, usually I put a 1 here and a 1 here, and I'll cut between those, and there's 1, 1 there. I can't see this. 1, 2, yeah I can. 1, 2. This is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Then I'll do the same here. I'll go 1, 2, or 1, 2. Well, red is red. It's the only one I have on here, so it's not rocket science on this. I'm a little colorblind, actually, so sometimes it's not simple for me to see these, and I see, oh, is that yellow or is that white? But we'll just call it white. I'm going to put 1, 1 on this white and 1, 1, 1, 1 on this white, because this white has 3. So that makes it pretty simple. And again, I think this is pretty self-explanatory electrically. So it's not like a bundle of bunches of wires that you don't know where they're going. So pretty simple. Obviously this is green. Oh, this is here. So this has a 1. This will have 2. And then my last one here had 2. So this one will have 1. Hard for you to see? It's hard for me to see too. But I can see it. If I can't, I'll have my wife look at it and she'll see it, no problem. So we've separated this from the old light. So on this, I could have cut the plug off the RV side and hardwired in, but I actually like the plug. So I'm gonna shorten these up a little bit maybe, and then I will use this wired into these, and then if it works, then I'm just going to wire it. I'm not going to solder it or anything. Then I'll put my my heat shrink over it, solder them, and then put the heat shrink back on it and heat shrink them down, and that'll do, because the compartment's watertight anyway. So that's where I'm at. It's just a heads up to you. And the next thing you'll see, if you look at these two whites, all this white ties into one white. All this white's going to tie into one white. So, okay, so we're back from the RV. You saw it wired correctly. It's definitely reversed. Green goes to brown or black, and the other green goes to the other brown instead of green to green. It's okay, not a big deal. But now I'm going to solder it up, heat shrink it, and then it'll be just a plug and play. So I like this soldering gun because it's big and it really applies the heat, versus a little one doesn't apply a whole lot of heat. Difficult to work sometimes. This one typically not very difficult to work. There we go. Tons of solder in there. And then we gotta find our other one, which is right here. And we're gonna solder it too. Some heat on it, put some tinning down there, some solder down there, and get the solder to suck up from the top. Try again. Clean it off. Fresh solder. Put it on it. Solder it up a little more, and then it just sucks right in. Perfect. Done. Now I have to do the other light, and we're complete. Okay, we're back with the next lamp, tail light. A little bit of solder. Suck this right up into here. Drew it right up. I'm going to draw it up into this one. Got a whole spool of solder, so I won't run out. Whew. Angles, it's all about angles. There we go. That's plenty. Now I'll let this cool down and we'll shrink up the heat shrink. In the meantime, I'll heat shrink the other. Okay, now we're going to start applying the epoxy coating to the wood. Stuff is really thick and gooey. Probably have just enough for this side, and I'll have to mix a new batch. What I've done is I've covered these. Looks like we got some rain coming in for the next few hours. So I've got them covered. I've got them epoxied. We'll just wait a couple hours. Well, it never rained. But we're going to try to hook this up. I'm going to keep this because I still think it may rain tonight. So this won't go on until tomorrow. Okay, now we're going to go into the RV and give it a turn on the lights, see what happens. For the screw that's going into the bottom center one, being that it's metal here, I have to drill a hole that's much more in tune to the diameter of the screw that we're putting in. Otherwise, the screw's just going to strip and never go through the little hole. So that's what I'm doing now. And I'm making sure my electrical is totally out of the way. Pretty thin metal. Perfect. So I have some sealant that I will fill the hole with when I put the screw in, but I'm going to see if this butyl tape actually works to seal around it. I hope it does, because that's the way I really want to go. Okay, it's going to work for what I want. And all I'm doing is I'm ensuring that this lip here, when this is up against here, up against the RV, even though it's tight, I don't want any chance of water getting back here into this. Even though this is sealed, it's sealed very well, especially at the bottom. It's sealed very well. But I just rather be cautious than an ounce of prevention is worth a ton of cure. So we're going to do that. So on my tape, I'm not going to start up here because I want no seam whatsoever. Although you can stick it together to eliminate a seam, I may as well put the seam at the bottom. Butyl tape is doing a real good job of covering up most of these holes that from the previous light. That's the neighborhood lawn service. My neighbors getting their lawn mowed and blowed, and sorry about that noise. I should go tell them I'm trying to make a video here. They need to do that at some other time. And you know the people that work at night, they got to be sleeping during the day, right? It's kind of unfair to them. And a little emergency butyl tape left. This stuff is great, by the way. It is a phenomenal product. All I'm doing is making sure the butyl rubber tape is going over the holes that I've just created. We're going to start installing it. The butyl tape is getting compressed quite nicely. We're not tightening it all the way down at this moment. We're just getting them started, at least most of the way in there. And then I will tighten them up again as we move along. Okay. So it looks pretty good. Got a little extruded butyl tape here. I'll use a utility knife, cut that off, and then I'm happy. Thanks for watching.